60 Minutes Overtime.
The process of design, who's involved,
You have a panoramic view. That's excellent.
who gets to contribute. Is it the product of a highly immersive, collaborative process? And I think that leads to something very different.
This week on 60 Minutes, our story is about Mass Design Group, a nonprofit architecture firm reimagining how we should design and build. What is the building behind us? It's beautiful.
We're walking down from the second and third year dorm, so all the upperclassmen students will live there.
Alan Ricks is a co-founder.
We have architects, landscape architects, engineers from every discipline, filmmakers, researchers.
Filmmakers.
That's right. Yeah, we figured out very early on that talking about the process is talking about people. And you can't do that with just a drawing.
So in September 2013, Ricks hired Thatcher Bean to film a one-off project. The experience ultimately changed the way Mass communicates, and Bean became the firm's first full-time filmmaker.
Architecture is often told by a photograph of an empty building, and that communicates that it's a sculpture. It's not this changing, living thing over time that really impacts people's lives. You can't tell that story just with a photograph. That's why we've invested so much in film.
I think it's about telling the stories of why these projects matter, of what is possible when we think about things through this lens of economic, environmental, social impact, health impacts, that you want to hear from the builders, you want to hear from the patients and the doctors, and that it can't just be told through architecture alone.
The goal isn't to make architecture, it's to solve problems. And so that was exciting because we could actually use film as a research tool early in the architectural process to help the architects
Take two.
figure out what the project needed to do.
I think it cements the importance of what we do as architects and engineers.
How do you do your research that's different?
Through immersion, I think is a word we talk a lot about, by being proximate, trying to think of what are the topics where we think design can add value, whether that's healthcare or education or conservation, and by embedding ourselves with the people that are true experts in this, trying to learn from them, trying to learn from the people they work with, and then to see how that can be reflected in the architecture we build.
We've sent GoPros with doctors into COVID wards to have them help guide our architects around so that we could help advise on spatial interventions during the first outbreak, for example.
Our patient is inside the room. All of our pumps are on the outside with long extension tubing.
Mass now has 9 full-time filmmakers, and like the firm as a whole, more than half are based in Africa.
I'm teaching by practicing.
What I find intriguing is that you are taking what you learned in Africa and bringing it back to the United States.
We learned our whole philosophy from working in Rwanda. And we developed this approach of thinking through the implications of design decisions through the lens of what impact they would have on the constituents we're trying to serve. And that philosophy is just as applicable in Boston or New York as it is in Kigali.
The biggest hope and takeaway in the near term at least is definitely a different way of thinking about architecture. That it's not just this artistic thing, and that people recognize it's this amazing mechanism to create change. And we hope through storytelling and changing that narrative, we can change the awareness of what it can do, and through that also the demand. You know, hopefully people start demanding something different from the buildings that they live in or that their organizations are investing in.